Hello, my name is Louise Grant. I'm a risk advisor at MDDUS, working within the training and CPD team. This short video aims to highlight the key points to be aware of when demonstrating professionalism and effective communication in an MDT environment. For those of you who may not know what we do at MDDUS, as a medical defence organisation, we are here to offer telephone advice 24/7, assistance with complaints, advice and support for members involved in inquests or fatal accident inquiries, support with disciplinary proceedings and GMC investigations, guidance on ethical dilemmas, help with legal queries, and indemnity for claims not covered by government indemnity schemes, training, risk resources and CPD, and employment and HR advice for our practice managers and GP partner members regarding non-medical staff. Effective communication is so important when working within a team and is an essential element of fulfilling your professional responsibilities. It builds and maintains trust between colleagues and patients, creating foundations that allow patients to feel comfortable in sharing information with you so that you can agree a better treatment plan with them. Effective communication also helps patients understand their health conditions better, ensures you identify any areas of misunderstanding or misinterpretation, and helps patients make decisions about their care. It can reduce the risk of error by the team, particularly if you are communicating changes to a patient's care with colleagues, such as a change in their medication which needs to be reviewed and actioned. Transparent, honest and clear communication ultimately improves patient safety and shows healthcare professionals take responsibility for their actions and treatment decisions. There are of course barriers to effective communication. One barrier can be the expanding team in primary care, with a broad range of additional roles being introduced into the practice. It can sometimes be unclear what another team member's boundaries are in terms of knowledge, skill set and scope of practice, and so the purpose and scope of any new role introduced within the team should be clearly explained to colleagues. This should include information about what they can do for patients, who it is that they will be working alongside, any supervision arrangements, and details of who they should report to if they have any concerns. It can also be helpful to highlight how other roles may be impacted too. For example, do non-clinical colleagues understand which patients can be signposted to the new role, and how doctors and other healthcare professionals will be supported to undertake any necessary supervisory responsibilities, including arranging appointment schedules. As a new team member, if possible, schedule a short catch-up or induction with your new colleagues to introduce yourself and ask important questions relating to their roles. You may be the only person delivering a new specialist role in the practice, and this can increase the risk of isolation from the rest of the team. It is important to recognise the signs of this and to work to build good relationships with your new team members. The absence of support structures can increase the likelihood of stress and burnout, so there is a responsibility on the whole team to reach out and speak up if they are concerned about this or a colleague's well-being in general. While effective communication is key to professional practice in an MDT environment, it is important to be aware of what your own regulator says about professionalism in their core and more detailed standards or guidance. All of the regulators recognise there may be hurdles to overcome in maintaining professionalism day to day, such as workload, increased patient expectations and blurred boundaries, personal relationships or colleagues' behaviour. However, their expectation is that a professional will work to overcome these and raise concerns where patient safety, comfort or dignity is at risk. It's not uncommon for family and friends to ask for medical related favours, which can often be wrapped up with a degree of emotional blackmail, intended or otherwise. And generally, healthcare professionals are a sympathetic group, and so this can result in such requests being difficult to refuse, even when you know that treating family and friends is inadvisable. The 9 regulators are clear about such conflicts of interest and state that professionals should ensure their professional judgment is not compromised by personal interest. This applies to treating friends or family members, particularly where the treatment is outside your normal scope of practice, if you do not have access to their clinical records, or where they do not wish to share details with their own GP. It is important to be aware of the prescribing guidance that applies to your own role and comply with this at all times. Another area of risk in maintaining professionalism is when using social media. healthcare professionals must consider their online presence. Maintaining patient confidentiality is an obvious issue, but increasingly we are hearing of healthcare professionals facing criticism associated with posts or information they are sharing online. Yes, you have the same rights to freedom of expression as other people. Healthcare professionals are entitled to hold political and other personal beliefs. However, given the position of trust you hold in society and the importance of maintaining that public trust in you and your profession, you must ensure you are balancing your freedom of expression with the possible impact on other people's rights and interests. It is also important to be conscious that your role as a healthcare professional can affect how the information you share online is perceived. Social media platforms are no different to any other mode of communication, but their reach can increase your risk of exposure to challenge of your professionalism. Engaging with patients on social media platforms can also place pressure on or erode your boundaries, the maintenance of which is another important aspect of your professional practice. Your professional responsibilities also extend into how you behave in terms of honesty and integrity in both your professional and personal life. Probity for healthcare professionals includes being honest about your experience and qualifications, being a law-abiding individual and self-reporting to your regulator if you are criticised by an inquiry, found guilty of an offence or accept a caution. Some things do not need to be reported though, and so it's important that you seek advice at the earliest opportunity from your medical defence organisation to ensure that you are taking the correct course of action. This avoids the very serious risks that your actions are judged as dishonest and is likely to result in more serious sanctions. Probity also includes the responsibility to be open when things go wrong, your professional duty of candour, and to comply with any complaints, investigations or responses where appropriate. In complex healthcare environments, things can go wrong with a patient's care. In these situations, it is essential to be open and honest, comply with any organisational duty of candour processes, and apologise where appropriate. For example, the GMC says if a patient under your care has suffered harm or distress, you should put matters right if possible, apologise, explain fully and promptly what has happened and the likely short-term and long-term effects, and report the incident in line with your organisation's policy so it can be reviewed or investigated as appropriate. And lessons can be learnt from patients protected from harm in the future. Some healthcare professionals have voiced concerns to MDDUS about apologising in a complaint scenario, as it is sometimes felt this means they are accepting responsibility when this might not be the case. Apologising does not of itself mean that you are admitting liability for what's happened, and it clearly demonstrates your empathy for the patient's suffering, which can be a powerful way of resolving and restoring the clinician-patient relationship. Organisations and senior leaders have an obligation to empower all members of the team to speak up and voice concerns, particularly when patient safety is at risk. There is specific guidance from regulators on appropriate ways to raise concerns and steps to take when you feel this is necessary. If you are ever unsure though, please seek advice. In conclusion, effective communication and demonstration of your professional responsibilities are key to supportive team working, maintaining patient trust, and the delivery of safe care. Ensure you are familiar with and comply with both your own professional responsibilities and those set out by your organisation. If you would like to find out more about MDDUS, please visit our website. We have a range of free CPD available to any of you working in MDDUS practices, and we also have a series of professional CPD courses which are open access and designed to help you reduce medical, legal and regulatory risk. These are available at a discounted price for anyone working in an MDDUS practice. Thank you.